Okay, it's your spoiler version of Mike's instant movie review for Nobody. I just gave the non-spoiler version in which I said go see the movie in the theater if you can. Bring a mask if you can. Here is the spoiler version. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's a great adrenaline rush. I kind of feel like the movie starts off very much in the heritage of Falling Down, Michael Douglas from like 1994. And I think there was another movie that I think I even did a Mike's Instant movie review, which was another, white guy has a bad day and kills people type of movie. That might have been a movie from just a couple of years ago where there's like a traffic accident and so on and so on. I'm trying to remember what the hell it was called. There was a woman in a car and there's like a fender bender or some such thing. I just can't remember everything. But this movie, Nobody, I liked it. I mean, I think, what's his face, the dad, Christopher Lloyd, we'll always call him Doc from Back to the Future, but I think he really kind of steals the last part of the show. The RZA as the brother that we're kind of hearing through the radio or the stereo equipment throughout the film, I don't know. I guess I had like one Wu-Tang CD, the big one, the good one, with The Saga Continues. And I'll be honest, I'm just not like a huge Wu-Tang guy. Like I never had the Wu-Tang t-shirt. I played chess before the Wu-Tang Clan, was a big thing. And I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to give a fuck that the RZA's in this movie, but I don't. No offense. I'm sure he's a pleasant fellow who likes to play chess and rap, and I get that. Was he super dynamic? Not really. I think someone like Lawrence Fishburne, if they had to do that character, which was kind of a throw-in character, to be honest, the brother, it kind of left it open for sequels if they want to do that. And of course, like many films, one of the good guys always gets shot in the arm. You ever notice with these action movies, like either the lead good guy or one of the lead good guys always takes a bullet in the shoulder. Like they never get shot in the eyeball. It's always in the shoulder, and RZA takes one in the shoulder or the arm. And I guess this was a movie, I call it a vanity movie, even down to the little bumper. At the end of the credits, there's a little bumper with Christopher Lloyd and the RZA in their van. And then most of the people in the theater I was just in were waiting for another bumper, and end bumper with Bob Odenkirk, and it never happened. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like the movie's bad. It took some unexpected turns. I enjoyed it. The movie's good. I did like the movie. It's a fun thrill ride. I guess what is kind of, I want to say derivative, meaning that it starts kind of like as Falling Down, and then it goes into, hey, we're a weird, quirky movie thing. And we've seen that a million times before. I mean, going back to Pulp Fiction, 2 Days in the Valley, kind of that late 90s, edge, which at this point is not edgy anymore. Now you'd be more edgy if you did something like Godfather 2. Which is why I'm always pushing my goddamn scripts down people's throats, because I feel like I'm a better writer than these assholes in Hollywood. There, I said it. Do I like the movie Nobody? Yeah. I think it's like Bob Odenkirk's like, hey, I can be better than Daniel Craig, or I can be better than whoever the fuck, Mel Gibson. That's how it felt. He's trying to prove something like, hey, I might not be the traditional, thick-jawed, good-looking Hollywood asshole, but I can do this shit like the rest of you fucks. So mission accomplished, very good. The movie does, here's a term which you'd have to be a real astute gentleman or gentlewoman to understand. I feel like this movie kind of falls in love with itself, and I really only got that feeling towards the end of the film when it got like very cutesy, and it started to kind of with the end bumper with Christopher Lloyd and the RZA. It starts to feel like the movie is marking out for itself, like the movie is loving itself. And even when, like, the movie doesn't know when to fucking end. It's like, there's a couple of false finishes, like a Japanese pro wrestling match, And they have a thing in, like, when, spoiler again, I told you it's a spoiler video, when him and his wife are looking at the house at the end. That's a totally needless scene. They could have just ended the movie with him in the interrogation room. Like, the movie doesn't know when to stop being a movie. Just let us go home. We get the point. So it's a movie that falls in love with itself. I like the movie, but I mean, it's kind of a self-congratulatory movie. Like, once again, it's worth seeing. I'm not telling you not to see it. I'm just pointing out a few little flies in the ointment. There is a scene that I think I caught an error. Actually, two. There is an after Bob's character gets beat up a few times. What's his fucking name in the movie? Harry or something? He's beat up. He's got the stitch, like the stitch in his eyebrows area. And he's got like a scar in his face, and he goes to work, and there's no stitch, and there's no scar in his face for like just a 10 or 15 second scene when he's at work. And then he gets out of work, and suddenly the stitch and the scar are back. Caught you. So I'm looking at that again, or I'm looking at just thinking in my mind, were they playing with time or something? And they don't. I don't think they were. It was an error, at least the way I saw the movie. Unless they were, I don't think they were playing with time, like time jumps. I just think it was a fuck up. They just filmed out of sequence, and they just forgot, and they probably just edited the movie, and maybe somebody caught us at, ah, shit, nobody will notice. I notice, assholes. So then the next thing is that in the big finale, the big death scene, I believe it's Dad as Christopher Lloyd has shot a bunch of guys, a bunch of bad Russians, and you see one guy, like one of the masses that are dead, he's slumped in the background, and his face is kind of upright, and then he kind of slumps over. And it didn't feel like the character that he was playing, although he was background fodder, like suddenly died at that moment. It felt like the actor wasn't in the right position, and the director or second AD like gave him the snake eye, like gave him the, hey, you're dead. And maybe that was just the best take, or maybe they didn't catch it. I mean, so, you know, I watch movies pretty astutely, you know, like one of those guys that sees the watches on the Roman emperors, and I like to point these things out if I see them, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. It's a good movie. It's worth seeing. I mean, it's definitely better seen in the theater because of the action levels. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It's like a 3-star, 4-star. It's not a 5-star. You know, and I think for someone, like if you are new to movies or younger than me and you never saw Falling Down, or you never saw this, that, or the other, this would be very fresh and very vibrant to you. But if you saw like Lock, Stock, and Two Loaded Barrels, like I think this a Guy Ritchie movie, there was a preview in this movie for like a Guy Ritchie movie of some kind. It just, like I said, it feels a little early, late 90s, early 2000s, stylized. It just feels like, just like Bob Odenkirk is trying to prove something. And I think he did prove it. I think he can, hey, you can be in a cliche action revenge movie like every other asshole in Hollywood. So once again, it's a good movie. It's worth seeing. Is it going to change my life, your life, or any other asshole's life? Not really. I guess what I was, and I guess why they did this was, I was expecting your kind of movie in the history of falling down, of, you know, white guy gets pushed to the edge and he can't take it anymore. And this went into the edgy, artsy, oh wow, you know, didn't see that coming thing. So it's not a good or a bad. It's just, you know, it is what it is what it is. You know, it's just, it's a movie. You pay your money, you go to the theater, and you watch it, and then you come out and you talk about it. It's not rocket science. The wife, it was an actress of some name value. She looked good, you know, and the son and the daughter. So there's characters in this movie, like any other movie. There's characters, obviously. I don't fucking know. I mean, I would say if you want to see what this movie could have been, what it should have been, Michael Douglas in Falling Down. I think that holds up better, to be honest. with what's his dick, the actor Robert Duvall and Michael Douglas. I think that movie's better than this movie. But this movie's good. I mean, it's a great movie. It's just I feel like more, to be honest, and I'm always honest, it feels like a validation piece. Like Odenkirk is validating himself, and he wants to throw a little salt in the wounds of David Cross. Like, hey man, I'm a bigger star than you, old buddy. You know what I mean? Like how friends compete. I'm sure Odenkirk and Cross go back and forth. Who's the bigger star? And I'd say, obviously, Odenkirk is winning that war. You know what I mean? If it is one. You don't see him throwing David Cross a bone in this thing. He could have been in this movie. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Those are my feelings. If you agree, if you disagree. Like I said, this is the spoiler video. And if you want to leave a comment, if you go see this movie this weekend, I don't know if it's one of these deals where you can see the movie streaming right away or not. What else? Here I am in beautiful Disney Springs. I'm obviously do have masks at the ready, but I'm sitting in isolation. I'm guessing that this music behind me is going to get the copyright claim on my video here, so all the money will probably go to these assholes, whoever recorded this music. But I wanted this to be a fresh, hot, steaming take. I want to thank a gentleman, I believe his name was Adam. Sorry, Adam, if I got your name wrong and I'm calling you something else, but a Facebook buddy of mine who did, in fact, purchase A Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. So all you fine fellows and women who watch these videos, make sure, if you want, purchase your copy of A Distance from Avalon, When the Dying and the Dead Reunite. The link should be right in the description. You support me, you support the cause, and you get a book. It's not like I'm just asking for a fucking handout. You know what I mean? Like, I saw some of those people, I don't know if they were firemen or what, but they had like the bucket thing in traffic. And I'll be honest, I don't know if these days, it's not the time to be doing bucket charities. Like, nobody wants to put money in a bucket right now with our economy all screwed up. And with COVID-19, you don't really feel like rolling down your window and putting your money in a bucket. I wish this gentleman would stop talking while I'm trying to do my video. But basically, nobody wants to put money in a bucket right now. But what you do want to do is you want to make a couple of clicks. You click on that description link, and then you go to the fucking Amazon, and you buy my goddamn book. And then it comes to your house, and you read it. And then you leave a review, or you don't. But at least the cover art's nice. Any effing fucking way. It's Mike Messier with your Mike's Instant Movie Review. I'll try to get a screenshot, or I am wearing a Bubba Ray Dudley shirt. I'm trying to show you some nice. I don't want to get anybody's image on camera that they don't want to be, if they don't want to be, and I don't want to talk to people and ask for their permission. A couple of guys walking around without masks. They're a couple of badasses. They're just walking around with no mask. It's 1998. Yeah, a couple of tough guys. There we go. But yeah, I mean, look, life is life, folks. I know many of my friends and family and followers are in the Northeast or throughout the world, and maybe in your neck of the woods, it's just not so freedom-based. And but here, you wear a fucking mask and you can do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. I see some more people. I don't know if they had a national take off your mask mandate, but I see a lot of people non-masked right now. Well, any effing way. Have a good weekend, you fucks. And it's only Thursday night. It feels like Friday night. Mike Messier.